journey towards a more balanced, fulfilling life. This show explores well-being through spirituality, mental clarity, and physical health. It covers topics like mindfulness, nutrition, fitness, and spirituality, giving you practical advice to enhance your life. Tune in for a transformative adventure. Sparking Change for Harmonious Living is a TV show that inspires action. It motivates you to start a journey towards a more balanced, fulfilling life. This show explores well-being through spirituality, mental clarity, and physical health. It covers topics like mindfulness, nutrition, fitness, and spirituality, giving you practical advice to enhance your life. Tune in for a transformative adventure that ignites the change you seek.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sparking Change for Harmonious Living. My name is Giovanna Chartaron, and I am your host for the show. And I have Ahmed Baham, and he is your co-host. Today, we're here to talk about how do we achieve greater happiness in our lives with harmonious living. So, Ahmed, I'll turn it over to you because you have a definition for the word harmonious. Can you share it with us?
Well, good evening, everyone. Well, if you look up the word harmony upon the dictionary, it usually just refers to certain agreements of ideas, feelings, or actions, or a pleasing combination of different parts. But we are taking it a little bit further. We want to discuss about harmonic resonance. We want to discuss about the alignments, not just about your thoughts, feelings, and actions, but about your higher self, which is the spiritual side of yourself, as well as the correct way of thinking, and at the same time, taking care of the holy temple which you have, which is called the body, and how you can synchronize all three together. You see, it's very crucial that you do not only focus on one aspect in your life, but you need to focus on all aspects of your life in order to live a fulfilled, complete life, right? Some people, they just want to basically be praying all the time, and then they ignore the intellect and they ignore the body. So if you focus on one part, you basically go short on the others.
There's an imbalance,
But
right? We need to have a
it's an
balance.
imbalance.
Right.
Absolutely. So I want to read a little bit from a book called The Science of Getting Rich. Now, Wallace Wattles described that in order for you to live a complete life, one must be rich. Why is that? Because, with money, everything just gets simpler, it gets easier. No, money is not the goal, but the harmonious living is.
Right.
And with money, it can be used as a tool to elevate your status in such a way that you can attain all the things you want, including the time that you need to conduct the things in terms of spiritual and mental nature, as well as looking after your body with the best things that you can have. Now, he said it is essential, however, that your purpose should harmonize with the purpose that is in all. You see, God is all about abundance, God is all about health,
Mm-hmm.
and God is all about all the great thoughts that you can have. You must want real life, not mere pleasure of sensual gratification. Life is the performance of function, and the individual really lives only when he performs every function, physical, mental, and spiritual, of
Absolutely.
which he of which he is capable without excess in any. You don't want to have excess in any parts of it. You do not want to get rich in order to live swinishly for the gratification of animal desires. That is not life. But the performance of every physical function is a part of life. And no one lives completely who denies the impulses of the body a normal and healthful expression. And what does this tell you? Well, of course, your body is the vehicle. You know, it's something that helps you to move, to conduct your affairs. You know, to be there for your family and to help one another, to help you know people beyond your physical presence as well. You know, it gets you from where you want, from where you are to where you want to go. You do not want to get rich either solely to enjoy mental pleasures, to get knowledge, to gratify ambition, to outshine others, to be famous. All these are a legitimate part of life,
Mhm.
but the man who lives for the pleasures of the intellect alone will only have a partial life, and he will never be satisfied with his lot.
I love that.
So
And that's
here,
so true.
yeah,
Very true.
and he emphasizes, you know, living for the intellect alone is just another part of life. A lot of people, in my experience, when I connect with them, they're very intellectual and they're very health conscious, but they lack one thing: they're spiritually not connected. Therefore, anything they do, they're never uh, fulfilled internally.
Right. There's
That
always
that
something
that's
missing.
There's always something missing, and this is probably the most I want to say the foundation of everything. You do not want to get rich solely for the good of others, to lose yourself for the salvation of mankind, to experience the joys of philanthropy and sacrifice. The joys of the soul are only a part of life, and they are no better or nobler than any other part.
Totally
And that's
agree.
true. Now, he wrote another book. Not many people know about this book. It's called The Science of Being Well. And he says, a person can live in three general ways: for the gratification of his body, for that of his intellect, or for that of his soul. So he said, the first is accomplished by satisfying the desires for food, drink, and those other things which give enjoyable physical sensations. If you look at the basics of a human being, you know, if your needs are not met, it's difficult for you to focus on the other aspects because that's your biological requirements.
Hmm.
And then he goes on to say, the second is accomplished by doing those things which cause pleasant mental sensations, such as gratifying the desire for knowledge or those for fine clothing. Of course, you want to learn things as you go. You know, you want to look differently. You want to feel a little bit different. So, or for those for fine clothing, fame, power, and so on. So that means that as you gain your knowledge, so you elevate yourself in the process. Now, he went on to say as well, the third is accomplished by giving way to the instincts of unselfish love and altruism. It's basically, you know, isolating everything and just focusing on the divine itself. You know, there was a saying in an old book called Nahj al Balagha, and the saying was by Prophet Muhammad's son in law. And he said, you think you're such a small entity, yet you have the entire universe that's unfolded within you. Now, it's such a short statement, but but trust me, it does have a lot of depth and meaning.
Once you know once you connect with your inner self and you really have that knowledge, then you understand that, right? You have to experience it, something that only you can experience.
I cannot make anybody understand what I'm saying, but I'm sure in the next coming weeks, as we dive deeper into our sessions, those action steps can help you to experience something a little bit different that you may realize and to come into a different kind of understanding about who you are and what is your purpose in life. Now, I like what Wallace Wattles stated as well. He said, "A person lives most wisely and completely when he functions most perfectly along all of these lines, without excess in any of them. The person who lives swinishly for the body alone is unwise and out of harmony with God." Now we know that, creation started with God. So he's the source of everything. Wallace
Yep,
Wattles acknowledges that. And he says, that person who lives solely for the cold enjoyments of the intellect, though he be absolutely moral, is unwise and out of harmony with God. Now, why does he say that? It's because he's devoting all his time just for the intellect alone. Again, there is no spiritual connection here. And the person who lives wholly for the practice of altruism and who throws himself away for others is as unwise and as far from harmony with God as those who go to excess in any other ways. Why? Because we need to have a balance between what we do internally and how we live life externally. With the previous statement, when I said you think you're such a small entity, yet you have the entire universe enfolded within you, it's basically sort of a hint that we should live through a process. And this process is living inside out,
right.
because it usually comes from spirit to thoughts, then to form, or to action, steps that leads you to the form or the experience that you wish to have. Now, Wallace Wattles continued to say that to come in full harmony with the Supreme, you must purpose to live to the utmost of your capabilities in body, mind, and soul. He didn't say just one. He said all three. And this is the the foundation of the wheel of life.
Absolutely.
This must mean the full exercise of function in all the different ways, but without excess. For excess in one causes deficiency in the others.
The other.
Behind your desire for health is your own desire for more abundant life. And behind that is the desire of the formless intelligence to live more fully in you. So, as you advance toward perfect health, hold steadily to the purpose to attain complete life, physical, mental, and spiritual, to advance in all ways and in every way, to live more. If you hold this purpose, you will be given wisdom. And wisdom is that not to live in excess in any of the parts, but live a life encompassing the whole. He
Absolutely.
that he that willeth to do the will of the Father shall know, said Jesus. Wisdom is the most desirable gift that can come to a person, for it makes him rightly self-governing.
The importance of having that connection, and we call it God, Jesus. There's a life force that's in charge of the universe, and I feel that
Absolutely.
if we are not connected and we have more of the physical or the mental aspect of life and we don't focus on the spiritual side, from my own experience, I think that disconnect helped put had less, I had more fear in me. But once you get connected to know that there's a greater power within us, it brings us to another level, to live more harmoniously.
You see, man is a bit different than any other creature on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Man has been given a gift, and that gift is his mind. Now, a lot of people, when they hear the word mind, they get a picture of the brain flashed on the screen of their mind. But no, your brain is an electronic switching station. Your mind is different. Your mind is basically everywhere in your body. It's in every cell membrane. It's not something physical that you can touch, but it's that spiritual side of yourself that also you can connect with through your higher faculties. You have your intuition, you have the reason, you have the will, you have memory, you have perception, and the most important one is your imagination. Now, we've been given these 6 higher faculties as a gift. Not many people are aware of it, yet even if they are, they still don't know how to use it. And even though if they do know how to use it, they don't even use it.
It's because we're
There's a
not taught to
certain,
use them, right? We're not really taught to use them in our lives. Especially
absolutely,
imagination. It's from when you were little, and then it's not being used anymore. But now we understand how powerful that is.
yeah.
Everything
And
starts with imagination.
Einstein stated, he said, your imagination is a preview to your life's coming attractions. I can say that literally. There may be a little bit of a time delay before your own movie shows up in your life as an experience. But surely, if you do entertain that idea within your imagination and you do get emotionally involved with it, you will cause the things to come to pass. And therefore, environment is but your looking glass.
I love that. But we also know that everything starts in the imagination. Doesn't matter what you're creating. First, you have to visualize the picture in your mind.
Absolutely.
And if you hold that
The-
picture long enough, it will come into form. With belief and faith, it will come to be.
It always does. It works with every person, every time, everywhere. But you have to be loyal to your vision until it becomes a conditioning. Because the world that you're surrounded with is not loyal to you, but it's loyal to your conditioning.
I love that. That is so true. So true. Just think of a person who's not well. If they can be loyal to seeing themselves well, whatever conditioning is
Absolutely.
happening on the outside, whatever they were conditioned to, and really believe that there is, a way to heal, even though everything may not look right on the outside. It's the inside of how we feel to create that harmonious feeling.
You see, uh, Wallace Waddles stated, he said, see, if God is all about wealth, God is about harmony, God is about health. But he said, like, you have to also understand the faculty of will. And most people, they think that will is something like an ironclad will to go forcing against something. You don't want to fight the disease. You want to focus on health, right? So what Wallace Waddles said, he said, to think in terms of truth and to think in terms of health when surrounded by sickness requires more power with the use of the will. Why? Because with the will, you need to detach yourself from the body and your environment and just focus on how you wish to be, but as if you are. Now, when you are getting these physical impulses based on certain illness, if you can overcome it mentally, and if you tap into your spiritual side with full utmost faith and belief, you just maintain that. I'm not telling you to do that 24 hours a day, but just hold that thought anywhere you go. Hold it as an intention with any activity you do. give blessings, give gratitude for your healing because it has happened. You'll be surprised who you're going to meet, what kind of treatment may come your way. You will be surprised how quick things can change for you.
Absolutely. I can attest to that for sure. Let's talk about the mind a little bit. We have about 5 minutes left. But how powerful the mind is, our body's a manifestation of the mind. We understand that. And when we say how it controls our mental, emotional side of us, because we make decisions in life based on how we feel.
Absolutely. And how you feel also not only just triggers your decision and sets you off to a certain direction,
Mm-hmm.
but how you feel also sets up an attraction of a harmonic resonance, what is whatever you're emitting emotionally. Now, this is what I wanted to discuss in terms of harmony.
Yes.
So, the whole concept is how can we harmoniously resonate or attune ourselves with the spiritual side connection that we want, with the intellectual side. Of course, we
Mm-hmm.
have to study, there's no shortcut, you know, and with the physical health. Now, one thing is certain is no matter what is it that you want to have, as long as you're still living in this world, it must be earned. It's something that you have to put out in order to receive.
Yep.
You know, and your thoughts and your emotions are the inner work that you must remain loyal to, and as well as acting on those ideas by steps, by setting up plans into reaching your goal. You never change the goal, no matter how many times you may come up, you may be faced with obstacles. You just find another way. Remain loyal to the goal. The goal usually comes to you from the unseen, right? But the result is always known.
Of course.
You don't know how things may change for you, but know surely that the end result is always there.
And it's taking that initiative, right, to really study and learn what are the gifts that you bring that not only can help you, but that you have, let's say, that can help others as well. Because creating an harmonious living, it's not just about ourselves. It's also the connections that we have with our family, our friends, because that they truly affect our feelings, our emotions.
Absolutely. And we have come here to do two things. One, to make the best out of ourselves, and two, to serve. Serve in any way possible. There is no greater thing than to serve mankind. We
Because
know
it
a
serves,
lot of absolutely,
I was going to say, because it
absolutely.
serves you, right? If you're serving
It serves you.
mankind, it's going to come back to you.
It comes back to you automatically. Whatever you put out comes back to you. Like and when okay, well, somebody says I'm broke, well, go serve. Money is nothing but a reward for service being rendered.
Mhm.
There's always service. If you have a lot of salespeople, for example, they're worried about their commission. Well, focus on the mission.
I love that. That was good. I love that.
There's always a
Absolutely.
mission in the commission. There's always in the service for the reward that you want. If you focus on others wholeheartedly,
Genuinely, right? Authentically.
genuinely, everybody will start to look at you the same way. Why? Because you're emanating that from within you. It doesn't matter what you say, as well as Waddle said. It doesn't matter what you do. I mean, what you say externally, but how you say it or how you do things. It doesn't matter what you do, but how you do it.
Makes a big
There's
difference.
there is a process. There are laws, then there are steps, and then you will come to acknowledge the truth.
This is wonderful. I love what we're doing here. I think we bringing out this information really will help my audience to really think of life from a different perspective, and coming to a point where they can just live harmoniously. Because I think this world right now, where there's a disconnect, and we're not living a happier, greater life. So this is the purpose of the show. And I thank you. I mean, next we'll do this every Friday at the same time, and we're just going to bring out information that we're learning through our study to really help the audience have a better life and enjoy their life, because we only have one life to live.
Absolutely. Why not make the best out of it?
Well,
There is
thank you.
no coming back to this life again, right?
Absolutely.
So my purpose, along with our dear sister Giovanna, is to serve as many people as we can during our
Absolutely.
journey. I want to thank you, everyone.
Thank you. And we'll see you next week on Sparking Change for Harmonious Living.
See you next week.
Thank you for joining me on Sparking Change for Harmonious Living. I hope that our episode today has ignited a spark within you to create positive change in your own life and in the world around you. To learn more about how you can become a guest or supporter, head over to sparkingchangenow.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing, sharing, and leaving a review. Your feedback is incredibly valuable to me, and it helps me to continue producing content that sparks change in each of us and the world. You can find us on various platforms, including Google Play Store, Apple App Store, YouTube, Facebook, Roku, Android TV, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to